frequency.
Okay, you guys, Ralph Havens here, Beyond Limits Physical Therapy in Bellingham, Washington, and Leslie Plattner, worldwide, Matrix Energetics and homeopath. And we're on our podcast When Doctors Have No Answers. And today, what we're talking about is what are we talking about? Healing. What can we do for you today? So everybody's got what they're working on, and there's a lot of problems and uncertainties in the world, especially in all these parts of the world, lots of uncertainty and a lot of division. And so we're going to open it up with a couple of 2 points. We talk about matrix energetics. We're going to go with 2 points, and then Leslie's going to talk about, and we're going to do something called uncollapsing the wave function, whatever that means. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with an idea, and then we can sit with it for a second, and then Leslie's going to talk about something else, and on the other side of this. So the idea is, how much would you pay to go meet with your 20-year-old self? And what would be the breakthrough you'd like to share with your 20-year-old self? So that's one part. Like, if you could go back and talk to your 20-year-old self, what would you tell them? If you're not quite where you think you should be right now in life, maybe, what would you go tell your 20-year-old self? And then Leslie, you had the other side of that. And what was your other side?
I just wanted to say, so give an example. What would you tell your 20-year-old self? Is there something?
Well, yeah. So I told you a little bit before we got on screen was, because I was way into running then, and I would have said, go find and be with the best coaches and runners of the world. Like, just go take a chance and go there now and do it. So
yeah, so my side of that was, well, I don't want to live like I should have done something differently in the past. I would probably tell my 20-year-old self that everything that I go through will get me to where I am. And from more of a sense of appreciating how I have developed. But then as I thought about it more, I also thought, I might give her some advice about choices, but I just really didn't want to live with the idea that, oh, I wish I had done something differently, because everything we go
like regrets, like, yeah, I love that you said that, because it's like you told me before we got on screen, like, well, you can't do that, Ralph. So what's the point of this thing? And so then you said, well, let's you gave some quotes of Richard Bartlett, and then led to this idea of what we can do now. So can you tell us, what did you come up with this morning with this matrix energetics idea?
Yeah, so Richard's always talking about healing can be instantaneous, and before he often used Bible verses like, before you ask, it's given. And let me find a quote, I wrote it down. He talks about handing over the details to a greater power, and that healing doesn't have to take time, and that feeling into something, like, what would it feel like if we were to experience suddenly a different reality? What would it feel like? And what would have to happen for this to be better now? And I just love that exploration. Like, it opens us up to possibilities in the universe that we could maybe never even imagine.
So what would have to happen for
this
this to be different now?
Yeah. What if it could be better now?
And so now, can you lead us in this thing? If somebody's not used to these ideas, we can talk a little bit before we use this principle of how can a healing happen in an instant.
Okay, yeah, I can just talk about that idea. So that some people have some debilitating disease like cancer, but suddenly they heal from it. And how did they get that information that allowed their body to heal? What caused the cells to stop producing cancer cells and start producing healthy cells? Somehow they were in contact with some information that's out there in the universe somewhere. So Richard would talk about uncollapsing the waves. So when you notice what is happening in your body and you be with it, and this is taking it a little bit into peace process also, but that focused intent with the willingness to have a new possibility, it opens up like you're opening into the quantum field where there's so many other possibilities besides what you're experiencing right now. You're opening to whatever would have to happen in order to have a new experience. And it's not something that you mentally learn, it's just an experience. And we did it over and over and over and over again in those Richard Bartlett Matrix Energetics workshops that we did, where you could see that suddenly your life could be different. Doors could open, you might meet the right doctor, find the right nutritionist, hear about the right process that you needed, or something might just heal in the moment.
Yeah.
So that's what we play with all the time in the group that we do, is opening to possibilities. So
And they're already soaking in it, as the old Palmolive commercial used to say, you're already soaking in it. And let's just see what people notice. So if you like, you can set a bit of an intention, like what you would like. If something were to change for you, what would that be? What could that be?
and feel into it, like who would I be if it were different?
And then we like to say, let go. And then we'll do this thing and talk about it in a minute. But Leslie and I will both let go as well for you and for your hopes and your desires. On 3, 2, 1. And Leslie, can you, it's been said in different ways, like in the Bible, Jesus said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, which is a tiny, tiny seed, you can tell that mountain to move and it'll move. Like just the teeniest bit of faith. And it's like how much grace do you need to open a window just enough to let that in? It's been said in the Bible too, that ask and you shall receive, and knock and the door will be open. And if you just open the window just even a bit, more abundance will be poured in. Let's play a little bit more with that, whatever that is, that grace.
And then really trusting what you notice, anything that comes to your mind, anything that you feel in your body, really trusting that it's a symbol or it's information or it's calling for attention.
And here's a part that's interesting to what's coming to me to say is to notice what we notice. It might be a tree, it might be a flag waving, it might just be that there's air, or the light looks a little interesting, or you might have a thought or a little vision that comes in. We can notice it, and we don't have to go do anything to it. Like you don't have to go figure it out, although you might get some stuff to do, some epiphanies. But it's the mere act of noticing it is what we call uncollapsing the wave function, which is basically letting go and letting whatever that is find the solution for you. I don't know if I said that perfectly, but it's like we can spend a moment, if we like, just to notice what we notice. And I'll guide us a little bit. You can notice what you see, the physical objects in the room. You can notice the space, like there's air around the stuff that you're noticing. You can notice what you hear. And there's space around the sounds.
I notice that my breathing changes and my body feels lighter.
Yeah, you can notice what you feel.
Yeah, the tension releases.
The whole peace process, you could notice what's happening in your body and just follow it.
And then noticing once you've done this, which really doesn't take time, then as you walk out the door or walking around your house or in your sleep, what dreams do you have? Who talks to you? Who tells you something? Who gives you a book? What do you hear on a podcast? Like you have to look for what's different because it is different. And then you have to look for how it's manifesting in the world. So you're not just going back into your same old pattern. You need that's
Yeah, you might find yourself have an inspired action to do, inspired conversation, an inspired collaboration with somebody, an idea.
yeah, and maybe your body just feels different. Like maybe you are healing. Maybe you notice that, whoa.
In fact, this would be a really good time,
Yeah.
whether you're watching live or later, to just hit pause and walk around and just see, are your feet on the ground differently? Is your shoulders, are they moving differently? Is your rib cage moving differently? Do you feel a little taller? Do you see the world a little at a different height? Literally. It's just kind of, if you tested enough stuff, would you notice that some things are different right now? And if you do notice, like, your shoulder maybe moves a little looser, or you bend a little bit easier, or there's a little more space in your body, or your feet are walking somehow softer or lighter. If something is different, then we know something changed. It is like, you're in a different reality. And maybe in this reality, other things are changed in your life as well. So you can keep noticing what you notice from this moment with me and Leslie. And this is a lot of times how people find us and then join us. We have our daily healing group, Atomic Success Secrets. I'll put links below. But we do this every day. Leslie leads the group during part of the week. I lead the group another part of the week. We have Ilya and Marianne leading the group. And we see things change and clearing this inner stuff, whatever that is, and aligning with whatever that thing you'd call spirit. You see the great runners and they cross the finish line winning and gold medals and world records, and they usually point to the sky. Some of them have a certain faith in God, and there's something that they know is bigger that's driving this whole thing. So it's like not a certain religion, but there's some, even Yoda talked about, there's the force within us. And Jesus said, don't you know the Holy Spirit resides within you? And so, yeah, how do you access whatever that is? So this is how we play. And if you do notice something different, let us know. I'll put the comments where we're at.
And people do, the group people bring specific things they want to work with. So it's not quite so nebulous. Like,
Yeah.
who have had physical problems, illnesses, emotional, mental, financial, relationship problems, and they do find that changes happen for the better.
Yeah, I remember one person we did this process with, and actually I was doing it with her one-on-one, but we do this in the group, and she was working on money concerns and business concerns, but then that did change for the better, but her migraines went away. And the funny thing was, I didn't know she had migraines when we were doing the so-called work. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, notice what you notice and notice what's different and let us know. And if you like this sort of thing, Leslie and I do this once a month in our podcast on YouTube and Spotify and Facebook here. And then we do it every day in the group. So I'll put links there. Leslie, anything else you want to say or do? Or
Gosh, I just want to comment, Ralph. I've seen you for a few years now
yeah.
going through this stuff you've been going through, and I just think you're amazing in how you've taken the stuff we go through in life and been so disciplined in your you're doing your own inner work and researching and reading and talking to people and making efforts, and it's not just you actually take efforts and do things. And I just like to tell your 20-year-old self something. I would have you tell it, hey, we're doing a great job. Like
Thank you, Leslie. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I like the way you think about that.
yeah.
Yeah, that actually feels way better than the way I was first brought it here. because that was like, well, what are you going to do with that? Like, you know.
No, I just think you're doing amazing, Ralph. So
Well, thank you. And you too. I know you got a big trip coming that's you're gonna come back with all sorts of spiritual stuff. So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is really good. Well, I'm very I appreciate you very much. And I think we're doing big work. And so yeah, let us know, you guys, what you guys need.
All right. Take care. Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you. Let me turn all of this off.
Okay.